Hey, it's Breezy Hambeezy, and this is Some Shit We Like. I'm here with Some Kind of Robot, and I'm here with Rick Weasel. Mike, Rick, how's it going? How are you? I had to do that. I had to do that. I fucked up. I have to start.
How's it going, man? How are you?
No, so guys, what's going on? How are you? I was so prepared to do that, and I got fucking nervous. Anyways, this is Some Shit We Like. I'm Bryce, Mike, Rick. We're all here. You might be watching us live, and if you are, thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate that, and that's always fun for you following us on social media because we go live today. It's at 12:54. Next week, it will probably be at a different time. Who knows?
This ice is in here from midday yesterday.
That ice is here watching the show with us or doing the show with us.
I'm sorry.
Ice from yesterday. Cheesy is in the chat with his big wiener. Just fucking throw that out there. For anyone that doesn't care about what's happening live, you're listening to us on whatever podcast service you prefer because we put up the audio of this show on Tuesday morning. Yeah, that's what we do. And then otherwise, you might be watching clips on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We put up 2 clips on Thursday, one at noon, one at 6. Then we put up the whole fucking show if you don't want to watch us in clip form and you want to see what happens outside the clips. You could watch us on Friday in full. And that's the deal, guys.
Yeah. Well, unless the show is too long, then Rick says, fuck you guys.
And that's when shit gets all fucking fucked
I'm just going to put clips.
So. And as for that introduction, that was kind of for Mike and I. If you're a wrestling fan, you know. And if you don't know, then you don't.
Something to wrestle with.
Just cracks me up that 83 weeks. Like, I was all prepared. I got fucking nervous. I'm like, I don't want to say my full name, so I said, it's Breezy Hambeezy. And I'm here with Some Kind of Robot and Rick Weasel.
That's such an energetic...
Yeah.
Fucking welcome to everyone.
Yeah.
Mike, Rick, what's going on? How are you? That how are you gets me every time. This is wrestling podcast.
I figured because I had no clue.
Yeah. But you liked it.
I liked it.
So today, we normally do like little bullshit stuff in the beginning. We still probably will, but today we're going to... A few weeks ago, we talked about sodas because Rick was so excited about vanilla Coke. So we started to talk about different sodas that we've had over the years. And one of the drinks that came up was clearly Canadian. Right here.
I'm happy about this, but I'm so disappointed by the size of those bottles.
I see. I'm sorry about that, but
that's not your fault.
Yeah.
Like that's just.
This is how I always had them, but I do remember what you're talking about. And they were plastic too. You said. I remember. Yeah. I remember. This is how I had them. So just consider this is a can of clearly Canadian.
Can I tell you a story about clear Canadian bottles?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you've never had them before.
I've never had them, but looking at them now, it triggered a what do you call it? Memory?
Repressed memory
of growing up. Not repressed, just like a memory of growing up.
Did somebody abuse you with a bottle?
No.
Show some of the
Don't try to elbow shit me.
He's like, no. I actually do remember seeing these in the refrigerator.
Oh, really?
But I wasn't allowed to have them.
Really?
Because
I mean, it's like the healthiest soda you could have had.
We got this. My dad would buy these and like the New York seltzer ones that he talked about as well too. Those I was able to drink.
You've had those before.
Yeah, I have those. I've had those.
Well, these are some high dollar
But
shit.
I remember seeing this, and then I remember him telling me like, you can't drink this because it's an adult beverage. I think he was obviously bullshitting me because he wanted to keep these for himself.
Or he was fucking drinking half of it and throwing vodka in it.
Man, this shit is funny. I'm sure it could be that too. I'm sure it probably just has to do with when it was capped, but this is fuller than this one.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit fuller, and this one's
all the way up to the top.
But I bet when we crack them, it's going to even itself out. At least I'd hope. Otherwise, this is some bullshit.
I don't know, man.
Or maybe it's open actually.
No,
but yeah, I remember him telling me don't touch those because those are for adults only.
Right.
I mean, they were more expensive than New York seltzer water. Maybe that's what he meant.
Why.
Maybe that's what he meant.
You can get a case. I'm trying to think how many that is. I don't know if it's 12 or 24. It's probably 12. You can get a case. We got the Fruit Loop donuts, Cheesy. Cheesy's in the chat. He's wondering. We're going to sample those too, but that's coming later.
Yeah, we're going to drink first.
And we're going to drink first. But the case at Cost Plus, which maybe it's cheaper elsewhere, it was like $30 if you wanted a case.
Okay.
$29.
How many in a case?
It might be 12.
Oh.
So it's a little, I think these came out to about $2.75 a bottle.
Yeah.
But maybe it's cheaper through the website.
Yeah. Like the big fucking plastic bottle was like $1.50 at 7-Eleven.
It's just probably because, they're bringing them back.
Walmart in the glass bottles.
Well, it could be that too, but I mean, yeah. Again, this is what I knew.
Yeah.
I think this is the standard. Then the other one was like the big thing, like when you go on a liter of cola.
Yeah.
All right, so Rick,
What did you just say?
Rick, I'm gonna let you decide which flavor you want to try first. We're gonna try them all. I've got duplicates.
Raspberry.
I've got duplicates of all these in the fridge, and then you can pick the one that you want to drink in full.
Raspberry.
Okay, we're gonna start raspberry. So here,
I like raspberries.
I'll let you do the honors. Go ahead. And pour.
Me?
Pour.
Raspberries taste like snozberries.
Remember, this is just the sample time.
So
Just the sip.
I like how blue the bottles are.
It's the sample, motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sorry for any religious people out there. I didn't mean to use the Lord's name in vain.
Yes,
Here, you could pour some over there too.
No, it's fine. We'll kill the. I guess we're just.
Bryce and I
sampling
know
it.
how to do this.
Jesus.
Let's finish it off. Because, yeah, I actually poured a little more than what I
Oh
thought.
god, that smells so good.
I
That's
know.
like
It's the best.
I love the smell.
Raspberry.
So, Rick, just so you know, this is sparkling water.
So, okay.
So, it's sparkling water. There is sugar in it.
Yes.
I guess
But this is like, I mean, it's still a soda, but this was like the healthy
and
soda before.
If I
it was a
remember
soda.
correctly, I don't know if it's like that anymore. They used natural sugars, sugar in the raw. They didn't use
I'm sure
processed
they did.
sweetener,
Everything is all natural ingredients.
Yeah.
So that's what
Plus
it
it's
says.
from Canada. So.
which is why it was semi-healthier because it was, straight sugar. It wasn't chemical
Yes.
or refined.
Pure
It
cane
was-
sugar.
Yeah, pure cane sugar.
Specifically, it's from Richmond Hill, Ontario, Canada.
All right.
So, Rick, your first clear Canadian experience, raspberry flavor. Here we go, boys.
Cheers.
Just like I remember it.
That's so good.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird.
Tastes like raspberry sweet
Weird in a
tarts.
good way.
That's why
Yeah.
I love it.
Tastes like what?
Raspberry sweet tarts.
Yeah. Cheesy asked in the
Yes,
chat,
yes.
I hate soda water. Is it like that? If you're thinking like LaCroix and all that stuff, like, no. This is going to be full-bodied, full-flavored like a soda. It's just, woo.
Yeah.
All right. It's clear. It's just clear. And this one's raspberry. So, Rick, what do you think?
It's good.
Here. Clean
It's
off,
really good.
clean off your ice.
It's like, I feel like
I still got some.
I
Let
didn't know. I was
me
like,
water that down for you. Hold on. No, no.
It feels like soda water with sugar. But in a
Right.
good way.
Yeah.
Just consider it a soda. It's a
And
soda.
they definitely have more of a bitter taste to them. Yeah, just a little bit. Just swirl it around. And clean
Doesn't
off
say
your
it's
ice.
It
dude.
fits well, though.
It's
really well.
it's carbonated. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what you're asking,
Yeah.
like it's a soda. It's 100.
Yeah, it's
a Dr Pepper. It's a Coke. It's made with sparkling water. It has sizzle. It does all that.
I mean, you open it. And then you open the next one. Do it right
Yeah.
by the mic so he can hear it.
Yeah, we'll do that for him. So this one is done.
Yep. I like that.
I will say, because I drank one of these with Annie last night, I only have one peach, which I know you said you're not a big peach guy. I think you'll still like this.
Yeah,
so we
that's
do only have one of those. The rest we have duplicates
Go
of.
for it.
So what do you want
Mike,
next?
you pick next.
I'm gonna go with this fucking peach.
You go with peach. We'll have Rick Mike start the pouring proceedings. Rick's like, let's split it. Okay. Upside down, shake it out. All right, here's a couple drops for you guys. Did you do that to Rick's cup?
Oh no.
Let's
What?
clear the palate. He's gonna pour some water in there. You're gonna drink the water. What? Why are you being weird? Because he's drinking out of the thing?
Oh come on, Rick.
Oh my god. Oh wait, I was almost just starting to drink. Go ahead. I almost just fucking went for it. Are you really?
No, seriously.
What's happening? We're just trying not to mix the flavors on the ice. That was the bad
Yeah.
move with the ice. Damn.
Oh.
All right.
Well,
Peach. Ready?
Peach. I don't like peach, but we'll see
You
what
smell
happens.
No, you just said you ate too much peach. I don't think you said you don't like it.
I
That's
don't
good.
like peach.
Do I have to play the show from last week? You said, and I quote, "It's not that I don't like peach. I just ate too many peaches,
Which is
and I'm
why I
sick
don't
of
like
it."
peach.
But that's not. That makes no sense. You even said, "But I like it."
Not for me.
Of course, he's got to stick to
Right.
his narrative so that he doesn't look like a fool. So that's fine. Oh wait, we'll
not
just say this.
terrible,
Where's
it's
the
just
cat?
not
No,
for
I
me.
don't believe you. You said you liked peaches, so it's fine. You just said you ate too many. It's the same thing, like
Yep.
your weird thing about burgers. But anyways, so that can be for one of us. So Rick, you pick.
Let's go with blackberry.
Regardless, though, you still like the idea, like
I like the idea
flavor.
of-
So go ahead. You're gonna go
uh,
blackberry.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you pour.
They don't taste as sweet as I remember, which is
That's what
a
I'm
good
saying.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like a subtle, like
Yeah.
Like a refreshing. Yeah, there you go. It's a refreshing, like
Yeah.
summer breeze of a drink. Shut up.
All right. Did you just fucking go for
Yeah,
it?
he did.
Jesus
Let's go.
Christ.
Wow, I didn't think I was gonna like blackberry, but I like the blackberry one the most so far.
Why did
It's
you
really
think you're
good.
gonna like blackberry?
I'm not a fan of blackberries.
Okay.
I love blackberries. It's one of my favorite berries. Blackberry and raspberry, blueberry can fucking. suck
Yeah,
it.
that's really fucking good.
These are all really good, right? Rick's like, whoa, the
Blackberry
peach.
Not
Finish
real
it.
bad.
Finish it.
I still got some in here. Here.
Finish it. There's a second one in there.
Oh, that's right.
This is gonna make you kind of like, you're gonna go back to your like LaCroix and that other stuff and be like, where's all the
This
flavor?
fucking junk.
Yeah, where's all the flavor?
What I will say though is the bubbly one is actually really good because it's got a little bit more flavor. Than
Yeah, I do like
LaCroix.
bubbly. I do think
Yeah.
it's good. I mean, but it's still like, hard like
Right.
you
Right.
burp and you get the flavor kind of.
Fucking cheesy.
Alright. So this one is finished.
Yep. That's
You're
good
right.
stuff.
Oh god, this is so good.
So I opened it for you. It sizzled. You could see the thing. This one totally got overfilled.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
but it's all bubbles. Yeah.
You go first, sir.
Yeah, cherry and kiwi strawberry were my go-tos.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I'll have to look online and see what they're selling because this is just what I saw
At the store?
at Cost Plus.
They have
It's
like
the
a
only place
variety
I've seen
pack,
it.
or do they have
They-
just cases
no,
of individual?
unfortunately, they had cases for individuals because I grabbed singles. I
Individual
just grabbed
flavors?
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can get a
Oh,
whole
okay.
case of blackberry.
Right.
Gotcha.
I wanted to get a variety pack case because I'm like, well, but instead I essentially did that, but I
Yeah.
made it myself. Yeah, for me and Mike also, I personally prefer this over New York Seltzer.
Yeah,
I
big
loved
time.
I loved New York Seltzer as a kid, but I think this is way better.
Yeah.
It's not as
Not,
sweet.
it's not even. There's not even a question. Like
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, so here we go with the cherry.
Cheers.
Yeah, and it smells like cherry.
Oh wow, that smells like fresh cherries.
God, that's so good.
It's amazing.
Man, that's good.
The smell, honestly, the smell is really like.
So, and if you like these
Getting to
fruits,
me.
like this is the thing I always kind of like talk about. Most Snapple drinks don't taste like the fruit that they're claiming to be.
It smells good, but I mean,
You're so full. You're trying so hard to just
I'm
like be
not.
a hater. Yeah, you
I'm
are.
not. I love the blackberry.
You like all of them.
I
Like, kiss
love the
my ass.
raspberry.
So Snapple drinks don't ever taste like the fruit they say they are, with one exception. The apple Snapple tastes like
Yeah.
you're biting into a fucking apple.
Yeah.
These drinks have that same. They taste exactly like biting into the fruit.
Yeah.
Not like fruit flavoring. It tastes like I just bit into a cherry or a peach or blackberry.
Yeah.
Okay, the cherry's tasting a little better now.
It never tasted bad. You're just
I'm not
trying
saying
to.
it tasted bad.
No,
either.
you're trying too hard to be a YouTuber right now and think this is a flavor comparison review, and it's not. This is just introducing you to Clearly Canadian.
Yeah.
Just like them all, like they're all your favorite kids.
How are you gonna force me to like something if I don't like something?
Because it's not forcing. You're just trying too hard right now. Like, just enjoy it. Pissing me off, Rick. You will drink more cherry and you will like it. You literally like that's like
Don't
the
worry about it.
backwash part of it. So
But yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Clearly Canadian. I was even like, we went, like I was telling you, just 2 nights ago we were at 7-Eleven and I was like, man, do you remember when they had the Clearly Canadian? Fucking, I would get that all the time.
yeah,
And now they got all this fucking alkaline water and fucking
right.
all this other garbage. Like, just no, give me the good shit.
But yeah, the thing that I like about this, again, remember what you're drinking is like it's. Did you ever? I don't remember when I had the Soda Stream and stuff. Did you ever have any
Yeah.
of that?
You made some for
So
me.
this is essentially like it's kind of like making soda that way. You're
Yeah.
using water as the base. The water's carbonated, and then it's flavored with natural flavoring. And that's what I think is good about it. So I think it is a soda, yes, but it's like almost like a step above because it's coming from natural
Yeah.
like spring
Yeah.
water. You know, I mean, it's still sugar. Like I'm not gonna call it the healthy drink because it's not.
Yeah, but it's
But it's just different. It's good.
Yeah.
So I know you have that, but whenever anyone wants something to drink, this is what I brought them for. There's full bottles of everyone except for the peach, and let me know and I will go grab them. when you're ready or when it's time.
All right.
But I'm glad you like Clearly Canadian, even though you're trying real hard to be like, I like this one, don't like that one. The other thing, the problem that I have with trying
I can tell you
anything
now.
this way.
Peach,
No, stop.
I would not get
Stop.
I would not get peach.
Shut up. The thing that I will say right now, and yes, I'm telling you to shut up because you're pissing me off. I think whenever you try stuff this way, it's kind of flawed because it mixes together. You know what I mean? Like, I almost don't like... I don't know that I like to back try different flavors of things, you know, because sometimes it all just kind of melds together. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm not saying that that's painting your opinion, but I mean, I think if I just would have brought you, hey, here's the cherry Clearly Canadian.
Here, they didn't have the lime Perrier you always get. They had this instead.
Right.
And he just drank it. He'd be like,
Ooh.
this shit is the shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying your opinion isn't valid, but that's all I'm saying. So whenever you guys are ready, we could have.
I also think but you were saying, the introductory thing part of it is what kind of will also color someone's opinion of it before they even try it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, another way to, even for me, like I've been trying a lot of different beers lately, and if I get a few different beers from the store and I try them all on that same night, they just start to all blend together at one point. They could be completely different. Right. It's the same thing how like if you're eating something with your beer, and that could almost kind of change the taste of the beer. So I'm glad you tried it. I'm glad you liked it, and there's more in the fridge. So when you guys want, we could send Mike or me, and one of us could be the gopher, or you could be the gopher, and you could get more. So should we do the next taste testing?
Exactly.
So the next thing is, so the funny story about this.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the funny story about these is that Rick, you do that. It's not really that funny, but like my mom for some reason messaged me yesterday, and she typoed, of course, or I got autocorrected, and she told me she's like, hey, did you know that Carla's Jr. has Fruit Loop donuts? And I was like, oh, no, I didn't really think much of it. I honestly, what I imagined was like, oh, it's gonna be a donut, it's gonna have frosting on top, and there's Fruit Loops.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
Talking about him today.
That's what I thought. And then, then I looked them up, and then someone that works at my building ended up having some, and then I heard they taste just like Fruit Loops, and I'm like, fuck it, let's try it. So that's the story. It's not really that funny of a story. I'm just introing this shit. Yeah.
I went to I went to go get breakfast at Carl's Jr. on Wednesday before work.
Yeah. And
they asked like, oh, would you like to try a new Fruit Loops donut? And I was like, no, thank you, not today.
Was that hard for you though? Like you can't.
It was hard because I already ordered the breakfast. They offered it to me after I already ordered the breakfast. I'm like, no, I'm good.
What we really should be doing right now is
eating. Yes.
No. Well, yes, we should do that. But what we really should be doing is getting a bowl and putting these inside the bowl and pouring some fucking milk on it and eating it like cereal. But yeah, let's go for it. Should we all try the same color? We'll try different colors.
I don't care.
All right.
I'm gonna get blue.
Mike?
Man, you know where I'm going.
Wow, it almost tastes like a cereal bar.
I think it tastes just like the cereal.
But it tastes
pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's.
It's like a cake version of it.
That's pretty nuts,
trippy.
man. I'm gonna have to get some of these on my phone.
Maybe another time you will.
Look, I don't want them.
Right now
I hear you. I'm with you. I didn't necessarily want them either, but I couldn't.
I don't need them. It's
crazy.
Let me. I don't need them.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Get that fucking.
All right.
Put that over there. Put that over there.
Man, that's crazy.
That's
I have
good.
the taste in my mouth like I just ate the cereal too. I'm gonna keep going.
This is gonna sound fucking gross, but I even have that same like film, like on the roof of my mouth that I get from eating Fruit Loops, without the scratching of my roof of my mouth.
So we couldn't do what we just joked about doing. It was a joke, but like, these would just fall apart because they're soft. I don't want no soggy ass cereal.
Yeah, those are good. I like them.
Yeah, I like them too. I mean, again, it's probably our caloric intake for the next couple days, but fuck it, why not?
Yep.
Eat another one already. I know you just did, but catch up to me so I don't feel so bad. I know Mike ate one. Although wait, have you had 2 or 3?
I've had
2. There was 5 in there.
2. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for you.
How many did you have?
I've had 2.
Oh, okay. I was gonna grab another one.
Go ahead. I'm gonna eat the whole damn thing. I just don't want to. I don't want to do it alone. So, anyways, yeah, I think those are good. We just figured we'd try them. I think these just came out on Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's pretty new. It's relevant. It's current affairs. But other than that, yeah, we're just sitting here munching away. Hopefully this isn't too boring for people on audio, but we're talking. No, we've been talking. We're reviewing them. So if you haven't had the Fruit Loop,
the purple one.
You want to know something dumb? This is dumb. It kind of tripped me out, and I think this is stupid that I didn't put this together because I remember the logo, I remember the box. I was like, damn, they spelled fruit F-R-O-O-T. You know, and I'm like, was it always that way? And so even though I'd eat Fruit Loops as a kid, in my head, I think I still was like spelling it like fruit, how it's supposed to be. And then I'm like, man, I would look at this fucking logo and still say, oh, it's Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
So that just kind of blew my mind.
That's pretty funny.
Did you just finish the donuts?
No, I just put them on the side.
Why?
You want to finish them all right now?
Yeah. I'm going to eat them throughout the podcast. Why not? So anything else you guys want to talk about before we get the show started proper?
Yeah, Spider-Man is next week.
Yes.
Fuck, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Do you guys have it pre-ordered?
No.
I tried to, but I guess it was too late for the physical copy
Once
on Amazon.
Once that the next day when I was telling you about the thing ending that midnight that night, the next day, Spider-Man and a bunch of other games were finally available for pre-order. They literally waited till after their 20% thing was done. Sony did to allow them to put it up for pre-order.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's the way the video game industry is right now, man.
So I think I love what I've seen of that game and I'm excited for it, but being that I'm not a Spider-Man fan, I want to wait and hear reaction and review before I just buy it sight unseen.
I mean, Greg Miller's pretty much been giving
He's been fucking hyped for it.
Well, I mean,
but he's been playing the fuck out of it too over the last 2 weeks, and he's basically been giving
I've seen him on Twitter.
Unofficial reviews everywhere he can fucking talk about it. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm going to play that for sure.
There's been a lot of Spider-Man games that's come out and
that aren't good.
Yeah, but like I've never really been excited for one. Like I've seen like, oh, it looks pretty cool, and then like I might have picked up like one or two back in the SNES days.
Mm-hmm. They had a decent one on PlayStation back in the day. Shattered Dimensions was okay.
Yeah, I didn't play that one.
That was all right.
I wanted to, but I just never got around to it. But this one that's coming out, for some reason, like the trailer and like the story and what you can do in it, like that's really calling to me.
I'm sure I'll probably end up getting it, but I just I want to see first. It looks awesome. What I've seen has looked awesome.
20-hour story in an open world.
The average is 20, but to do everything is like 25 to 30. Like it's a big fucking game.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They already apparently have DLCs for it. That's crazy.
I
don't know about...
I mean, let's just talk about games right now.
Yeah, so we're talking about games. We'll just get into it.
This upsets me. The way that they're doing their DLC. Like, I'm not one of these people that's like, well, why did you cut it out of the game? Like, I don't think that's what happened.
See, I was going to say the exact thing. I was like, was that just levels that they decided not to put in the game?
Right, but they're I don't know if you heard this, but they're literally putting out DLC 3 weeks after the game comes out. They're selling the DLC already. Yeah, it's like a month. It's too close. And like the argument I've been hearing is like, oh, well, what would you rather have? Something like that there are people that just don't want to like Horizon, apparently. They want to shit on that game every chance they get, and I don't understand why.
They're the makers.
It was the best game of last year, in my opinion. No, different company. But so they're like, well, what do you want? Do you want it right away, or do you want it like so far later that you're not even playing the game anymore? What people forget about that was that when Horizon came out, they said, we don't have any plans for DLC. That doesn't mean they didn't have concepts or ideas or something that they could easily put into or implement to get going and get DLC out. But the reason why that DLC came out like 8-9 months later is because they were working on it for that time and then it came out. Not because
they didn't plan for it.
Hey, we're Spider-Man, so let's get 3 teams working on this game and get the main game and some DLC packs. They've announced 3 DLC packs, and the first one comes out a month or less than a month after the game releases. That's too close for me.
That's tough.
And I don't think it's like, oh shit, that's cut from the game. I don't think that at all, because you content lock and story lock a game way before it goes into production. So it's just like a movie. You content lock your movie. Then when you're working on the movie, you'd be like, oh man, it'd be cool if we could have added this or done this, or if we were able to do a sequel, this is what we would do. And with video games, you can iterate so much faster. But this shit was content story locked and ready to go. They go into production, and I bet while they're in production, they're like, hey, let's get some teams working on these DLC. We have ideas for DLC. Let's do this, this, and this. So I don't think this is a malicious thing. I just hate seeing it happen so soon after the game comes out.
I don't think it's malicious either, but DLC is tough, man.
Yeah.
You know, like it. No matter how you slice it, even if it's completely genuine and they really are just like having ideas and they just want to get it out there as fast as possible, it's still just one of those things that just makes you scratch your head and just like, but couldn't this have just been in the game? And they'd probably be like, well, did you want the game to be delayed? And it's one of those things where there's going to be this push and pull.
Yep.
And I don't know that you're ever going to find a happy middle ground, you know, other than going back to the days where there's just no DLC and whatever comes out next is the sequel.
Yeah.
That's all for the next game.
And I think we're at a point in video games where I honestly think we're going to see less sequels and more expanding on the existing games.
It's like what you've talked about for years, well, both of us, but you've brought it up a lot of like, you know, you have a baseball game or something like that. Instead of bringing out a new one every year, instead you pull out a big update every year that updates the rosters, the stats, and all this other stuff.
And hey, this update, it ain't free.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be $60.
Right.
It can be $20.
Yeah.
And I'd buy. I would, if they did that, like, because we're at a point where it's
$20 DLC, I'd do it.
It's diminishing returns with sports games. It's not gonna look any better than it looks until we get new consoles, and even then,
it's not gonna.
If it does look better, and they might make a fucking leap in the look of the game, but it's still gonna run at 30 frames per second, and it's not gonna be hitting full 1080p or full 4K or whatever the resolution of choices at the time. I would rather them on the next console. I've said this with the PS4 also from PS3. I would rather it just be 1080p 60. Can't we just fucking find 1080p 60?
I'll be fine with that.
Well, no, but we got 4K screens and fucking curved displays and fucking zap this onto your retinas, man. Like, no. Just, I don't want zapped onto my retinas if it runs at 5 frames a second. I want consistent frame rates and nice edges. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want in a game. But yeah, like $20. And you know what? We could do a graphics pass on that too and just smooth it out. Like $20 for new rosters and new stats and new gameplay tweaks and stuff like that. But yeah, like it's unnecessary to have to pay $60 every year for a sports game.
You were laughing. I was waiting for you.
In the chat.
Listen to Mike. Mike is
But
right here.
I heard him.
So that was one of the things I was gonna. Well, we're just talking about games now anyway. But yeah, this is a story I was gonna bring up because like it's just way too soon after a launch of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's worth the price, you know.
Right, and like I said, I'm not saying
kind of like what Bolo said. Like, yeah, if it's worth the $20 whatever price tag they put it, I'd be fine with it. If it's
but then you don't know if it's worth it until you spend the money.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
and then again, like I said, no matter they could sit here and swear up and down that this wasn't planned, it wasn't a thing, and no matter what, there's going to be a part of you that's going to feel that's going to feel like, well, wait, what I bought was an unfinished product. Like, oh, I bought this. It would be, I don't know, like
it feels exploitative. Like,
it's like you buy half the car and not the whole car. You get the rest a few weeks later because it's not done. More upgrades and more polish. Like, it's tough.
Here, take the car now, but in a month, come back and we'll put the leather seats in.
But you could play it now.
Yeah, but when you come back, we're going to charge you more money to put those leather seats in.
Yeah, like it's hard. It's hard, man. It's tough.
It just feels exploitative, and it's. I'm sure they're fine. Like. Insomniac is really, really good about stuff like that.
Yeah,
so they don't just like, well, let's fucking rake all the money in that we can because we can.
Yeah.
And I don't think any developer really does that. I think it's usually publishers that get down and do that stuff, but developers usually don't do that. And Insomniac is somebody that has never done me dirty with games or DLC or anything like that. So I trust them, and I trust this to be like a legit thing. But yeah, it's just... Man, it's just weird to see like, oh yeah, in a month we're gonna have DLC. Like, how would you feel, Rick, if with like Destiny 2 came out, and you and I kind of motored through that campaign?
We did.
And now this week the big expansion is coming out. Imagine if this big expansion would have came out like in November of last year, like 2 months after the game came out. You'd be like, why the fuck wasn't this in the game then? because it would have been so close to the launch. You're telling me it wasn't done yet? Like, come on. It feels dirty. I don't think it is, though.
Put it that way.
And these are going to be big things, like big story content that they're adding to Spider-Man. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But weren't you kind of saying, like, what if this was developed during their locked, once again?
Right,
locked?
after they've locked everything. Yeah, and that's the way this was, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, like I said, then wait a couple months. Lie to me.
Just say, oh, no, it'll be out in 3 months or 4 months.
Yeah, do this. Like, do it, and then wait till wait till December when PSX happens and go, guess what, guys? Spider-Man DLC, and it's out now. And it's 4 or 5 months later, so you feel like it has
That'll
some
have
time
a more
to breathe.
punch impact. Yeah,
Right, not
true.
like,
I get
well,
that.
before you give us $60 in a week, why don't you give us $80 in a week, and you can have all this shit when it's like, no, don't do that. I hate season passes, especially when they're like, you can buy the game or buy the deluxe edition with the season pass included. It's like, how do you know this game is going to hit enough to where you're going to have to put out content? This happened a few years ago with Need for Speed game, the one that was just called Need for Speed, the reboot in 2015. And I actually really liked that game. But they were selling like a deluxe edition, like for a season pass with extra content coming. The game tanked. And I don't think it was a bad game. I think people just aren't into arcade racing games right now as much as they claim they are. I don't think they are. Mm-hmm. And it tanked. And so then people who spent like the $80 for the deluxe edition are like, well, where's our content? And then they just kind of like, well, here's some stuff. Like, I guarantee the stuff that they put out was not the stuff they intended to put out.
Yeah, DLC is a tough one, guys. Like, I keep going back. I hear what you guys are saying, and it does have to do, with how it's presented and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm almost more of the, like, it's like, fuck, it's like you... Ready Player One, right? It's like you have that book and it's like, here's the first, here's the story. Like, an author isn't going to put out a book that's unfinished. You'd hope not. And if they end up having more ideas, then those are the building blocks for the next fucking book.
Right.
So like, I think the idea of DLC is cool. I think it's cool that you could own a game and maybe more stuff will get added to it, but I don't know. I have like a hard stance on this. To me, even the shit that's coming in a few months, it's like, man, if you have this content and have these ideas, why don't you use that as the building blocks for if the game hits as your next fucking project then? Like, it's cool. Yeah, I want more and I want it now also, but it does feel a little dirty. It really does.
Especially when it's something that is a single player focused, not condensed. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it's a single player focused story. Like, it's all encompassing. It's that thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, here's some DLC with some side missions, some side stories.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to do an episodic thing, then do an episodic thing. But like, there are games where it makes sense. I think, the quote live service games like Destiny, games like The Division, Rainbow Six Siege, Hitman, like those games
evolving.
Make sense because your bread and butter with those games is the online multiplayer. And how can you engage people online? Well, we have new ideas for missions. We've got new loot for the characters. We've got new stuff that we can roll out. And that stuff, that I'm fine with. But when it's like a single-player driven story that they want me to immerse myself in and spend 20 to 30 hours in, and then afterwards are like, oh, here's some more extra stuff. Like, I don't want to even think about that stuff. I don't want to know about that stuff. It pissed me off even with the episodic game. I'll go back to 2013 with The Walking Dead, Season 1. Before that season was even done coming out, before they had even finished the work on Season 1, they were like, we're doing a Season 2. I'm like, don't fucking tell me that. Don't tell me that. Wait till after episode 5 of the first season comes out. You could have waited 2 more months and then said, hey guys, we're coming out with another season. But like, before I actually have the thing in my hands, you're already trying to sell me extra shit. Mm-hmm. I don't like it.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to sound too old school or whatever, but I mean, us coming from an era where like you went and you bought the Nintendo game or you bought the Sega game or whatever, and like you knew you had the product in your hand. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It's hard. I think DLC is cool in theory, but it's hard. That's what apparently I'm just gonna just loop this video of Bryce saying it's fucking hard. It's hard. You can just have different girls flash up on the screen and Bryce just saying, yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the stories I was going to talk about. The other major news story I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about it last week, but it was
real
actually
quick,
confirmed.
real quick.
Yeah.
Cut you off. Destiny 2 free for PlayStation.
But it's just a trial. It's like just a weekend. It's not for. Like,
No, it's part of the game, the PS Plus, right?
No, it's a limited time. Like it's.
That's what I was asking. Is it only free this weekend? Like after Monday, I can't play it anymore. Or after Sunday, I can't play it anymore.
I'm pretty sure that's the way it is.
Gotcha.
I thought it was one of the free games that they do every month.
No, they announced it during the Plus thing and saying, "Hey, you can download it now." But I don't think it's.
It's a full free.
I don't think it's free forever if you have Plus.
Bolo's saying it's the September full game.
Really?
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
That's
I thought there was.
I read too.
I thought there was limitations on it, but that's cool.
What is bizarre about that though? That is strange. Like when I tried to add it, I couldn't add it to my library last night. They wanted me to download it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what felt different about it. So, interesting.
Download it so we can play all three of us back together again.
Yeah, I'm in.
I mean, I'm down to play with you guys, but
Tonight.
I don't have my PlayStation with me. I don't have my Switch.
God damn it.
You guys want to play Paladins later or what? All right.
Anyways,
So
go on.
the other story. Let's talk about the PlayStation Plus games. This is like one of the first times where all of the games are cross-buy and cross-play compatible between PS3, Vita, and PS4. So all 6 games that are coming out, you can get on PS4, which is pretty rad. And one of them is God of War 3 Remastered,
that's right. Yeah,
which
that
is an
one too.
awesome fucking game. So if you guys haven't played God of War 3 Remastered,
God of Thor.
which was basically the new one, God of War 3 Remastered, it's free, get it, and you have a couple days left, if you're viewing this live, to get Mafia 3 for free. If you haven't, it is 100% worth the price of nothing.
I already did it.
So do it. But yeah, and then so Microsoft had they're doing a subsidized console.
Yeah, I
Doing
saw
that
that.
after all.
Yeah. And I remember we talked about this during the 360 era when they were they were toying with the idea of doing it. I think they tested it out in some markets, but and they're saying it's limited, not limited quantities, but limited availability, I guess you could say.
Now, why is that?
They're testing it. I think
it's still just a test.
I think this is going to be how
the future.
Their next console.
This is how you can make it be as high tech as they want it to be,
and still get it in everybody's hands
by
and
not
get everybody
making them pay.
locked in for 2 years of Xbox Live and Game Pass. And honestly,
Interesting.
if they announced hey, the next Xbox console is going to be $30 a month for 2 years, I'd buy it. I'd get it day one.
I can't do that monthly shit. I'd rather just buy the system.
But do the math though. I mean,
so the way the math is now, at the price of the console now, with the 2 years of Game Pass and the 2 years of Xbox Live, on the Xbox One S you're saving $60, $60, and you're saving $20 on the Xbox One X.
What are the monthlies?
$22 and $33.
You have to put anything down?
Nothing down, but I think you're subject to a credit check, so they'll do that. But yeah, you don't have to put anything down. If the Xbox One S came in another color other than white, I would have already signed up for this fucking thing. But yeah, I think that's fucking awesome.
I mean, I thought it was interesting when we talked about it before.
Yeah.
I still think it's interesting now.
Fucking 6 years ago or whatever.
Well, it's like it's like the cell phone model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that model doesn't. Well, it still sort
Yes,
of
it
exists.
does.
It still exists.
It still does, but
It is one, unless you walk into the store and buy your phone.
Yeah, it exists. You don't have to buy it.
It
outright.
exists.
You're right.
It
does.
exists. They the cell phone companies like to tell you it doesn't exist anymore.
It still exists.
But it's exactly how everybody gets their phone.
It's the same. I don't know what I was thinking. It is the same thing because you can buy your phone outright.
Right.
But
you
you don't
get
need to.
even with the Google phones, you can do.
I bought mine outright.
You bought it out, but you can. Do,
Actually, no, I did payments.
yeah, so you can do
I did
payment plan on
payments.
that.
Yeah,
shit
it's the
too,
same
so
thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not locked into a 2-year contract. All that means is that you can come in and trade in the phone.
Yeah.
And whatever is left, hopefully they'll give you enough money to pay that off, and you can get locked into another 2-year contract.
Right.
But yeah, I would totally jump all over an Xbox One S for $22 a month, because that includes Game Pass. which is that's not Netflix. That's something they've walked back, which I'm going to talk about in a minute too. But Game Pass and Xbox Live and the console. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That part I think is kind of crazy. I don't think that's how it would go in the future because I think that's I don't know.
I think it would.
But why? Like
it'd be a higher price. It's not going to.
It would be a higher price. The price would have to be higher because
Yeah.
like I understand. I understand.
Xbox Live is not going to increase in price. I don't think.
How
Game
much
Pass,
is Xbox Live?
$60 a year.
$60 a year, and then how much is
Game Pass is $10 a month.
$10 a month. I mean, yeah, if it's all built into the price, I guess I get it.
Yeah.
I can understand an option where you're making payments on just the console itself, then you have to buy that stuff on its own. Because I almost would rather do that. Like, I'll subsidize your console, but I'll pay live and whatever up front. If it's all the same, if dollar to dollar it's the same, I would do that.
The only way that I think it makes sense for them is if they can lock you in for 2 years of Xbox Live. Because if they subsidize the console to you for a monthly... And at that point, it's not subsidized. It's subsidized now because you're paying for Xbox Live and Game Pass and you're getting the console, essentially.
Well, I'm still calling it subsidized because if you're not buying the system outright, it's still subsidizing the console.
It's payment plan. So if you're on a payment plan for the console, and it's like, okay, I'll get Xbox Live for a year, but then you cancel Xbox Live, and you're still getting this sweet deal on the console. Like, that doesn't make sense for them.
I don't know. If it's the same, I don't see it that way. To me, it's like, I guess I'm looking more in the future. I'm looking for like a high-tech, super high-tech console that, like, if really, let's say it fucking cost over $1,000 or something, and it's like I could either buy that outright or I could pay monthly payments on it. I'll pay those monthly payments on it, and then Game Pass is this much and Xbox Live is this much. I'll pay that like $50. Here's $50. Here's this, and then sure, I don't want to pay $1,500 for the console. Like I would do that.
Right.
But of course they can do what you're saying too and build it all into the monthly.
Right, and that's what they're doing. And
I get it.
I don't think it makes sense if those services aren't involved.
I don't agree with you.
Because what's the point of how do they keep you in the ecosystem then?
I mean that's kind of on you. If you buy the system,
it's on them to. It's like Amazon. It's on them to keep you in their ecosystem.
See, I'm looking at it as the perk being that you don't have to put all that money down up front. That's perk enough. That doesn't have to require you to also get live and all that other stuff. That's on you.
But see, they're not,
I mean, I could buy a PlayStation and not get Plus.
They don't make money on the console sales. Companies don't make money off the console
sales.
I got
that.
Even if they're subsidizing the console to you, they're hoping that you buy games or use their services, and that's where they make their money.
I mean, I feel like we're arguing the same thing. I'm just saying you could either go in and buy the system outright, or have the choice not to.
The way you're saying it makes complete sense for their model, but if it's like a Wii situation where all I'm gonna play is the Halo, I bought the Halo. I'm not gonna use. I don't care about the online. I just want to play the single player of the Halo. So you got the box and the Halo. You don't buy any more games. You don't do Xbox Live. You don't do Game Pass. They're not making any fucking money. They're losing money on that person.
I mean, like I said, I see what you're saying, but I still feel like, I mean, it's still a console sale, and it might be more console sales because more people might get the system that wouldn't buy it outright. I think you can make the argument on both ways. Mm-hmm. So, I can tell you don't agree with me.
But like I said,
I don't agree on any of that shit. I'd want to just buy it outright.
Even if they're selling more consoles, they're still not making profit off the console.
I mean, they're making profit on the sale of the system. But I mean, they're still selling the system.
But their profit is negligible. Like that's every game console manufacturer has said that. Like the profit they make on the sale of the box is fucking minute compared to the money they make hoping you buy video games.
I get that. I get that.
It's not a sustainable.
I'm just saying it's an option. I don't see it as being unsustainable. I really don't. Because I just think I mean, I could literally do the same thing. Like if someone buys the system outright, there's no fucking guarantee that they're gonna buy their membership stuff too.
Right, but if you tell them you can get this console, but you have to have our membership stuff, that's where they're making money.
I still think we're just arguing the same thing. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. Right. I'm just saying I think my way can work also. I don't think it has to be, it's all mixed into the price, or you could have it here, here, and here. I'm just saying...
They're just two different business models.
I'm just saying maybe I want to buy the membership outright. Maybe I just want to buy it $50. Maybe I don't want that maybe my problem is I don't want to part with X amount of money.
Yes.
And I just I'll do the payments on that, but sure, I'll spend $50. Mm-hmm. Like I think what you're yelling at me about, what you're getting mad at me about is you think that I'm saying, like, well, maybe, like, I'm saying it could be an option, but you think I'm saying if people do what I'm doing, that means that they won't buy any of that stuff. And I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm just saying I'd like the option to be there.
Right. But what I'm saying is that if they do it that way, there is no guarantee.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
And with the way they're doing it, by rolling it together, they guarantee
I get it.
to get,
but there's
$120 over 2 years for Xbox Live and $400 over 2 years for...
Yeah, no, I hear you. But at the same time, I could go buy an Xbox right now, and there's no guarantee I'm going to buy all their membership shit. It's the same thing.
Right. But like I said, that's why they're doing it this way, to guarantee
that
you get in there and stay there.
But see, But see, like I said, I'm thinking more in the future for these people that want these fucking crazy decked out consoles that are more powerful than anything.
Then essentially you're just taking out a line of credit with Microsoft.
Right. And that's when I first heard people talking about this, that's what people were it's like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to spend $1,300 on a box, but if I could do a payment plan on it, and you could promise me fucking 4K at, 60 frames and all this stuff, that's a lot easier to swallow.
I hope this is the route they go with their next console. Because it would make it a lot easier of not a decision on which one to get, but it'd make it a lot easier of a decision on whether I want an Xbox or not. Because their console was overpriced at the beginning of this generation, and now it's cheaper than the PS4 because they had to, so they're losing even more money on their console sales.
Yeah.
And hoping that people attach with games and services. And I've always dug the idea, and we talked about this, like I said, 5 years ago on this show with the 360, or longer than that, because longer, like right around when we started, this was an idea of like maybe they would subsidize it through a cable service, like to guarantee internet service plus the Xbox Live plus your console, and it would be $60 a month or whatever.
Right.
But they'd lock you in, and I would much rather do that. You guys know, like I'm all about that. Like if I can pay you, like I love the subscription model to things, especially if it's something I like, and it's so much easier to part with $10 here, $12 there. Like if I looked at, and I do because I have to, but if I look at what I spend on my subscription services every month, I'd be like, fuck man, I wouldn't do that all for one thing.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing that over the course of like 6 things, it makes sense. I like it. So I really dig the idea of here's your Xbox Live, here's your Game Pass, $25, $30, whatever a month for 2 years. And it all ends up shaking out to be about the price of the console, which again is not where they make their money. They make it on your services and you buying games and so I'm all in for this. I think this is a great idea. And
you have to use that phrase today.
Yeah, I do. And I think that they should make it more widespread and more open up availability, because seeing the limited availability thing really kind of I was like, oh, you really are just testing this.
Testing it, yeah. It's interesting waters to navigate, like I said, for the future. I mean, like I said,
I'm glad somebody's doing it.
I wouldn't mind if the whole industry went in that direction, because it's different. Like, Cheesy just said in the chat, if it's a 1K console, just buy a PC to that point. It wouldn't be the same thing though. A console is still a console in that you buy the game, you stick game in system, and you play it. Yeah. I get that there's installs and all this other stuff. Price really has nothing to do, in my opinion, with whether or not we'll just buy a PC at that point. It does kind of make console gaming more similar to PC, I guess, in a little bit, in that you can now put out these systems. Again, this is talking about fucking way in the future, but you can put out these systems that have maybe tech inside of it that's similar to what the new hot PC is, but the difference is maybe they're giving you the option to whether you do Mike's way or my way or whoever's way of just paying it and paying it. Same thing with cell phones. It's like the fucking Galaxy Note 9, I think, starts at $1,000, and it's like there's not going to be many people that are just going to be dropping the $1,000, so they'll make the payments.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if you did that with console, it could be a similar thing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Also, I have no beef with PC gaming or people who play games on PCs, but their superiority complex is what pisses me off. A lot of them, again, I hate that term for what that term actually means and where it fucking stems from.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Stop it.
Yeah.
But with a PC, like, and yes, for the most part, games just work on PC if you have, you know, a beefy enough system. But I don't have to fucking worry about that on a console. I plug it in, and like you said, I put the disc in, and there might be an install, and there might be a patch, but guess what?
But it's gonna work.
It just fucking works. I don't have to mess with my fucking resolution.
Right, that's
I
the
don't have to overclock this or underclock that or worry about different things. It just fucking goes.
Even if you have the beefiest of systems, of a PC system, there still might be little hiccups that you have to deal with, you know. And I like PC gaming too. Like, I mean, I get sucked into it. I'm playing a game right now that involves me being on Steam, and every time Steam opens up, like the glow of all these games that I'm like, oh my god, like what's this, what's that? Like, it's so easy to get sucked into that world.
I mean, but the point of that is like 90% of them are shit.
I mean, yeah, there's that too. But I mean,
but that's on every console.
It is
now
kind.
Too.
It's exciting though. Like there is something about you open this up. It's like bam, there's this game, that game, this game, and you have to be selective in what you pick. So I'm not knocking PC gaming either, but it wouldn't be the same just because consoles, if they got more to be more expensive, that wouldn't just make them PCs because it's still different. It's a box that runs games, and that's what it runs. And yes, they have operating systems now, but it's
and they have all these other,
you know,
all the other options
fine.
in there, but
it's fine. It's still completely different.
Yeah,
that's why, you know, like X amount of like RAM goes further in a console than it would on a PC because it's generally only handling a minimal operating system, and it's going all to the games, so it's different.
The other thing I was talking about during that is they're walking back of the Game Pass thing, like, and I guess they're not really walking it back; they're just defining it more. And I think everybody got out of control and like, this is gonna be like the Netflix for video games and all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And now they've like, oh, there's third-party games that are free, but just like Netflix, those games come off that service after a while.
Yeah.
And they're like, this was never meant to be, you know, an all-in-one Netflix style of gaming service. This is a very carefully and meticulously curated list of games that we were trying to put on this service, which I'm glad they're defining it.
Yeah.
But they should have done that
from the beginning.
Because it was one of those things where that looks like a duck. Bryce, that's a duck. Rick, that's a duck. Hey guys, look, that everybody now sees that is a duck. No, dude, we're not a duck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the idea of a Netflix thing, but I think it works better for like, you know, so like Nintendo, it's like, oh, here's everything from everything before Switch. You know, like I like that idea with back catalog.
Right.
I think it does get a little dicey with current stuff.
Even with Switch, they've fucking defined, hey, we are going to offer a curated list of retro games as a part of this service. And they've been saying that since the moment they announced that there was going to be that aspect of the service.
Right.
They've changed what that aspect of the service is going to be, which was good on them. They read the tea leaves and were like, people aren't going to like this shit the way we're doing it, so let's adjust it.
Yeah.
And it was the minorest tweak of like 2 games a month and then they're gone to here's a list of curated games that aren't necessarily going to be there all the time, but they're there right now.
Although I know you've said that, I still have yet to see them say that stuff's going to be taken away. All I've seen them say is there's 20 games with more to come. And I even tried looking for a quote where it says where things are going to be removed, and I haven't seen it yet. Basically, you're full.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
First thing I
just
saw
haven't
was
seen that.
an ever-changing list of curated games was like when they redefined it. And to me, that is a broad way of saying these games aren't going to be here all the time. They're here now.
Yeah. But it's September 1st. It's the
we
will find out soon enough.
Mid-September.
Well, I'm just meaning it's the month. We will find out soon enough.
But yeah, so now that Microsoft is defining that service, I think that's good. They should have done that from the beginning. I think it's an awesome service. Halo Master Chief Collection is part of that now. Fallout 4 is part of that. There's a good list of other third-party games that aren't just Microsoft games that are a part of that, which I think is really cool. And I'm glad they're defining it, and people need to put the pitchforks down. They did not overpromise. You over-inferred.
Yeah.
But other than that, game-wise, I've been playing Far Cry 5. I got Gamefly sent me their yearly email of, hey man, we saw that you canceled your subscription. You want to come back for $1? Yes, I do. I got games to play. So I got Far Cry 5, and I put a good week into it. I've probably played about... Cheesy's played through it, so I did the first third. I finished all of John's section of the map.
Were you and Cheesy talking about this or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
like he was like, FC. I'm like, because I didn't even know you were playing Far Cry 5. So.
Me and Cheesy are homeboys.
Oh, apparently.
So outside of the show,
I guess so.
We're like this. No, we're like that. But yeah, so I played it and I was hoping I'd love it because I really, really liked 4. But there's so many things about this game that I just cannot stand. You're in an area and like it's justified with the story, but so you're in a contained part of the United States that's overrun by this religious cult, and they've got people in the air all over the place. And like in Far Cry 3 and 4, like when you drove by enemy trucks, they would see you, but you would have time to get by before they got alerted. Now I feel like if I'm avoiding people too much, I feel like arbitrarily the game sends in a fucking plane going, oh, I've spotted the enemy, bombs away, guns down, and I find myself dying when I'm just trying to go from point A to point B, not even in a mission. And it's not fun at all.
Yeah.
It's Far Cry, it handles well. The hunting aspect is still awesome. The outpost stuff is still awesome. But there's so many parts about it that feel arbitrarily harder just so you don't power through it. It really, really turned me off. So I sent it back. I played the first third of it. I finished so it's broken down into 3 sections of the map. And it's the religious cult leader, his sister, and his brother. And so I did the brothers section of the map already. And it was fun because it's Far Cry, but like I said, he's been alive way too long. Let's send in airplanes and helicopters and fucking he's dead now.
Yeah. Is Cheesy have differing opinions than you on this or something?
Not necessarily different. He said he loved the story. And I think the story so far has been really cool and the idea of it. But it's hard to continue when you feel like you're being arbitrarily held back. When I'm trying to ingest that story. Because I probably put about 10 or 12 hours into it and I only done the first third. And at Far Cry, there's this awesome thing of sidetracking you and doing things you don't necessarily need to do. So yeah, I've been doing a bunch of cool little side quests and side missions. There's these forced sequences that are okay where you get kidnapped by the cult and they try to manipulate you in some way and then you get saved or you break out. And it's happened like 5 times and I've only played a third of the game. And like I know from what people said in their reviews that when you move to the next area, it continues to happen, and then the third area, it pulls you out too much. But it feels great, plays great. I like the story. The music selection has been really fucking rad. I like almost everything about this game, except for those few things I've mentioned. But those few things really pull you out of the experience, and I might get back to it down the line after I've played the other games I need to play this year. Because I really want to experience that story. Because, to quote Cheesy, when I told him I was getting ready to start Far Cry 5, he said, and I quote, "Bro, the end of that story had me shook." And I was like, all right. And
is this when he was streaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I just want to know, did you guys hang out? Did you exchange phone numbers? Like, I'm like, when did this happen?
I want to experience that because I've really been digging the idea of the religious cult storyline.
Yeah.
It's super fun. For the most part, except for when it pulls you out because they feel like you're doing too much, it seems like. But the side missions are fun. It's like outposts, it's hunting, it's the really cool cast of characters you meet and come into contact with. I like it a lot. I'll just probably get back to it later down the line.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and just paladins.
Have you, besides Paladins, and I haven't yet, so there might not be any point in talking about it, but have you watched that 48-minute Cyberpunk thing?
No, I haven't. I haven't yet.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, we'll watch it and maybe talk about that next week.
Yeah, I really want to.
But yeah, really digging Paladins, really liked what I had with Far Cry until I felt like it was becoming hard for no reason. But yeah, Paladins, man, I've got fucking... Like I showed you that it was 2 days, 2 hours, and 22 minutes, and I had 100 wins. I'm 2 hours or 2 days, 5 hours in, or 10 hours in now, and I've got 118 wins, and yeah, I'm really digging it.
That's awesome.
I wish Cheesy had.
Fucking Cheesy. Like, what do you wish he had? And then I'm gonna.
He said he was playing it. I'm not sure if he was playing it on PC before or PlayStation before, but fuck, man, playing Paladins on the Switch is like the best thing on the fucking planet.
That's awesome. I'll have to. I like I said, I've been playing the Unavowed, so I haven't been playing any games. But Cheesy apparently has watched the Cyberpunk thing. He says he's so hyped. He's so hyped and juicy wet for that game. They show, and I quote, "They show a titties."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, I haven't gone on record on this show, but I've said it to Bryce. I played through the first like 15 hours of The Witcher 3. That is the fucking horniest game I've ever played in my life. And not like, I always talked about like with Heavy Rain, when I was like, man, this guy's a real piece of shit. He's trying to find his son. He's having sex with this girl. And she's like, oh, so that's a cutscene? I was like, no, I'm the piece of shit. Like, that's not the case with The Witcher. Everybody in The Witcher's trying to fuck you all the time.
That's amazing.
So I expect nothing less from CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah.
All right. Is that it for games?
Yes.
Cool. So let's go.
All right, so
Welcome back to the show, Rick.
News. Some movie news. Or entertainment news, I should say. We got an update. Is this an update for the show?
I don't know if it's an update. It's just something that came out. Story.
So Bloody Disgusting.
Everybody, I just happened to see it in Bloody Disgusting.
Oh, everybody had it. Okay. Apparently, an episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina will be a tribute to The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean they're gonna have like the theme of the entire show is gonna be like Exorcist? I'm looking at him.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. They're so well. They've already said going into this that this is gonna be. It's like it's different. It's gonna be dark and different. And then the guy going in has been a fan of The Exorcist, and I guess there's gonna be an episode that I guess it's gonna seem very well, as it says right here. So the show premieres on October 26th. We're excited about it. The series as a whole was described as being tonally in the vein of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist, and showrunner Roberto Aguirre, I don't know if I'm saying that right, or Aguirre Sacasa, teases in chat with EW Today that one episode in particular will be going full on Exorcist. Sabrina is the heroine in the series, blah, 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 explaining that every episode is like a mini movie. I love The Exorcist. It's one of my favorite movies. We're doing a homage to that. We're doing an episode that's like The Exorcist. The series is set to be an hour-long drama that will reimagine the story of Sabrina the Teenage Witch as a dark coming-of-age tale that traffics in horror, the occult, and witchcraft. This adaptation, here's a quote, finds Sabrina wrestling to reconcile her dual nature, half witch, half mortal, while standing against the evil forces that threaten her family, and the daylight world humans inhabit. That everything else is just talking about who's been cast and stuff, but I thought that was cool because I know you and I are excited about this show, and I like The Exorcist. So.
Satanic demon rituals in the show. Seems like.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you already kind of knew that.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of like they're actually going to have a full-on episode dedicated to what your favorite subject.
Yeah.
That's cool. We still don't know how many episodes do we?
I don't know.
Because, like what it said, the article says it's going to be self-contained episodes in a sense, almost. Or not like self-contained.
I don't think he just said that they're like a mini movie. I don't think.
No, going off the mini movie part, it almost sounds like an American Horror Story type of anthology, where.
But different.
But not exactly like that. But like in the tone of like, yeah.
I think if there's a season 2, it's going to be with all the same people. Well, whereas American Horror Story is like, a different theme every season.
Where like maybe it'll be to a point where yes, the overarching story is her wrestling with her two halves or whatever, like you said. But I think like the way that sounds makes it seem like in a smart way where you can kind of jump in anywhere.
Maybe, yeah. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
October 26th. Yeah. So, Netflix tends to have their shows. It seems like sometimes it's like 8 to 10. It just really depends. I guess I shouldn't say that. So I'm sure it's going to be like anything else. And it seems like they're pretty behind this, so if it does well, which I imagine it will, especially with the time of year that it's coming out on, and then Stranger Things isn't coming out Halloween this year, I bet this will be pretty big, and I'm sure it'll probably have multiple seasons. So, cool. Yeah, I watch Riverdale also, which I think is kind of cool. And so this is. Are you laughing at me?
I'm laughing at all these fucking shows. We've talked about it before. We're going to go at it again.
Okay. I know.
I'm not laughing.
I'm normally
I'm not
with
laughing
you.
at you.
I'm with
I'm
you
not
on this.
laughing at
I
you.
feel like this feels different to me, but I see how it could be seen otherwise. So I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting
sure.
because Sabrina has always been like this sort of, and I guess it's also like loosely based off of like the comics or something. It says it somewhere. Or
Yeah, they released the comic for like prequel for this. I read like the first 4 pages of it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
'Cause I
Archie
didn't buy
comics
it.
based. Well, I guess Sabrina is in general, but this is based more off the comics than it is of like let's take the one that Clarissa, the Melissa Joan Hart was on, and make it evil. So it's loosely from some source material.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got
I
you.
like that picture.
But look on your face.
Well, it's just
for a
like
second I thought you're like right, sure.
Well, it's just like you can say that all day, but if you tell me Sabrina the Teenage Witch, there's only one thing that pops into my head.
Right.
And so like I totally get that. Like it's similar to like with anything, even with X-Men. Like I had to be sold real hard on X-Men movies when they originally first came out because when you said X-Men to me, I didn't even think comics. I thought the cartoon.
Gotcha.
So like, and that's just where my head's at with it.
Right.
So.
Well, that's probably why they called the show "Chilling Adventures of Sabrina."
Of course.
So,
yes.
There you go. But yeah, You're excited.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. So we'll see.
I'm gonna wait.
Staying on the Netflix agenda, the trailer for Atypical Season 2 came out Friday. Yeah, yesterday. And
is that really
I'm
the first
excited.
trailer? Because doesn't it come out like next week?
Yeah, it comes out next week.
And they
I've been
waited
waiting
that long for
apparently, because I've been waiting for the trailer. Maybe I missed it, but like the trailer just came out.
Seems possible you could have missed it.
Probably. But you would also
Fucking Bryce is a combative bitch today.
Yeah.
But I
Awesome.
found out because I got the push notification from Netflix.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
like, unless they put it on.
Look, and now he's looking so he
I
can
just
see.
wanna
See,
see.
fucker, I told you.
No, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah,
it
he
just
does.
doesn't
He
seem.
does.
It just doesn't seem.
That's funny.
Because I even checked the YouTube channel too, and I
Atypical. I didn't see this season 1. What is it?
it's about
Are you gonna get this canceled too, like you did with?
no, because it's got a season 2.
Okay.
So no, it's really good. It's about a kid, a senior in high school who has basically he's on the spectrum, autism spectrum, and it's just him and his family and like dealing with life. It's like a comedy and
It's
a
a Rick
drama.
ass.
It's a Rick show.
It's a Rick ass Rick show.
Yeah.
Would I like it though? Because I was kind of curious before you.
I think you would like
before
it.
you.
I think you would
not
like it.
saying that I don't mean this to come off like I found it first, but before, because I don't. I really don't. I had heard about.
But I found it
I
first.
found it first.
No, it's not at all.
Here,
But-
hang on. Some hipster glasses.
So
I
anyways,
found it first.
oh my fuck. So anyways, Jesus Christ, I had heard about the show and I was kind of interested in watching it because the kid from United States of Terra
I
is in
can't
it.
wait to watch this back.
Yeah,
To see
he's
it from
in
that
it.
angle.
This
I'm
is
sorry,
rough.
go ahead.
Yeah, but anyways, that kid was in it, and so I was kind of curious to watch it.
Yeah,
I never
he's-
did. Then
he's
you started.
really good in
Then
this.
you started watching it, and I think I'm fucking blind now from that. Wow, that's insane, dude. I'm like dizzy. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm blind, especially mostly on my left eye.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's a good show. It's very family wholesome, and but I think you guys will like it,
Why?
especially since you like the actor from.
Yeah, I think that guy's cool. I think it's
And-
funny. I'm being called out right now by
Oh, you
somebody. Well, Metallica, that's me. My shirt is asking if my balls have dropped. I mean, I don't
right.
know. You want to come find out? Yeah. So, anyways,
But yeah, it just has a very good like real family dynamic in it. Like
Okay.
I haven't really seen in a show in a while. Like the banter between the brother and the sister is like feels genuine. And the
Is it
relationship with her dad and the moms, it's pretty good. It deals with this like the parents struggle with raising their son, who's on the spectrum, and it's a good show.
is there like comedy in it too?
Oh
or
yeah,
is it-
there's comedy.
Yeah.
There's more comedy than I would say drama.
I mean, I've been watching Breaking Bad, and like, you can't be like, is there comedy? Because Breaking Bad is a fucking
Yeah.
dry, morose fucking show that has some comedy in it.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
If you can get through, especially the first few episodes of Breaking Bad that are really fucking heavy, I think you'll be fine with anything.
Yeah,
To be honest.
Damn you, Rick. It changed. You'll see.
I
That
know.
show
No, I know.
evolves
Yeah, I'm
because-
sure it does.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
if you can make it through that beginning, man.
And you could binge the first season in like a day.
Sure.
Because it's only like 22 minutes.
Okay.
Well, now I'm trying to do what you did. Well, you watched it for the first time, but I'm trying to watch the first season of American Horror Story before that premieres in like 2 weeks.
Oh, so you started that up again?
Yeah. Well, I watched that first one with you, the first episode
Yeah.
with you, and then I think I got to episode 4 because that one's just been too long. As long as it's still on Netflix, I'll just be quick about it. But we watched the trailer for The Innocents a few weeks ago. I've watched the whole show now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you on the show when we watched that?
No.
Maybe? I really liked it. I think you'd like it a lot too. I think I hope there's a season 2. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it's only 8 episodes and they're about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah,
So
they're about 45 minutes.
it's really easy to do. Well, I think one might be like 50 or 52 minutes, but it's good. It's British. I want to say that it might, I think we have it because of Netflix. So I think this might be,
Okay.
yeah. And it sounds like it could be a thing. I saw an article the other day that at least, I don't know what this means or just stuff hasn't been officially announced, but Netflix has, I guess, the lead girl signed on for 6 seasons. But
For the show?
Right, but so far, so they apparently think it's going to be a big deal, but so far, season 2 hasn't been announced yet.
Because I can tell you now, when I did watch, or tried to watch the first episode, I ended up falling asleep just because I was tired, not because I was bored. I was tired. But
Sure.
it hooked me in right away. That show hooks in so badly. Like, I was like this, trying to, I don't want to fall asleep because I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know you even started watching. Oh, yeah, I guess you did tell me.
I did tell you.
Keep going, man. I think you'd like it.
I want to, for sure.
I really
Because,
hope
it hooks you well.
Yeah, I hope this
And
is when you
the
really
actress
do
is
it. Yeah.
Actress is really
Yeah, she is really good. And I think
I'm only
this
going to assume she's even better.
is
throughout
one
the
of her
show.
first full, I think she's done other stuff, but this is one of her, one
I
of
checked. She's
her
in
beginning
shorts
projects.
and yeah.
She's been in something else that I think was British called Click or something. I don't maybe it wasn't British. It's on Amazon. I don't know how big her role is on it, but yeah, she's really good. The show's really good. Guy Pearce is in it too. There's some people. There's some maybe that's the only other recognizable one, but I really really liked it. I thought it was good. I'm still thinking about it, and so I really hope it's season 2. Yeah.
That good, huh?
It's just like I said. It's one of those things. It's like the.
I love when the shows just
The
make you
package.
think
Well,
real
that
life.
too, but it's like the package. It was just one of those things that kind of snuck. I'm not still thinking about the package, but that just kind of snuck up on all
Yeah.
3 of us, and it's just exciting. Oh, cool! Here's this thing that I could watch in my home for something that I already paid per
Right.
month for. It's gratifying, I
Yeah.
guess, because so often, there's times where I might not even touch Netflix forever because I've got this whole list of shit that I add to my list that when I'm oh, what should I watch? I have nothing to watch. Yeah, you do, you idiot. You got 100 fucking things to watch on your list that you just choose not to.
Right.
So it is cool when this original programming that's just for this thing comes out and it's good.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I mean.
All right.
But yeah, I really liked it. I hope you keep going with it. And you have Breaking Bad. Keep it going. Innocence too, if you feel like it. But yeah, it's good.
First trailer was a request from our continuing visitor on our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
Tim Raven.
He's 2 for 2 so far.
It's 2 for 2 so far.
Because he brought us Slice and what's the other one called?
The TV show from FX,
Oh shit. What was
Classes.
Yeah.
Deadly Classes, I think it was called.
Deadly Class.
Deadly Class.
that? Yeah.
So this trailer that he recommended is called Too Old to Die Young.
Take 2.
I like music a lot.
I wonder if this is the actual trailer.
Yeah, it is. His whole comment is making sense now.
Oh.
So what he said was, "Too old to die young. Check it out." And it doesn't have a dialogue, but it's gonna show image. So I think again that makes sense now. There's no dialogue. It's more of a tone trailer, a tone piece. Okay.
So that looked interesting.
I like the way it's shot.
I like like the way it looks, the way it gives you the feel, the music of it.
Yeah, the
like,
music's
very tense.
Yeah, the music is cool. I don't know what to think though, because like I still don't know what I'm watching.
Again, it's like it's like one of those trailers that they give you shit,
Almost like
but you don't know.
You guys seen Heat?
Movie? Al Pacino?
Yeah.
A long time.
Okay, I was just gonna say like that has that kind of intensity and that tone
with
the music that felt very Heat. Like, not saying that movie's gonna be about what Heat's about, but just the vibe.
It's a series. I think it's for Amazon. I thought I saw.
It is. It's for Amazon. It has William Baldwin. Who else in there? Jenna Malone is in it.
Why is she familiar?
Jenna Malone. She was in that. She was like big in like 90s, early 2000s, I believe.
Also has Miles Teller in it.
She's in 100 Games.
Yeah, I like Miles Teller.
I know. I was gonna say I was waiting for someone to flip their shit. It's got Miles Teller in it.
Did that say Miles Teller in there?
Well, I saw him too, and then the credits just confirmed it right there.
Oh Martin. Shit, Miles Teller's in it? Oh, well, I'm already all in.
Is there okay?
But also one of the things about
it
is that Nicholas Winding Refn.
Yeah.
He did Neon Demon, and that was a really fucking weird ass movie, but it was really good. But he also did Mike's favorite movie, Drive.
Yeah.
And then he also did Only God Forgives, which I never got around to seeing.
I'm in.
But I'm a fan of this director. And I'm a fan of his style. His style is just like I'm gonna talk at least.
I want to read the synopsis. It explores the criminal underbelly of Los Angeles by following characters' existential journeys from being killers to becoming samurais
in the City of Angels. Ed Brubaker. He's a comic writer. Is this based on the comic?
I don't know.
Is there
a comic based on this or whatever? God, come on, computer, keep going. He's known for Captain America: Winter Soldier and Westworld.
Who writes Berserk? Does he write Berserk?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, he's a prolific comic writer.
Yeah.
Comic book writer, not comedian writer.
But I love the way he shoots his movies a lot. Did you see Neon Demon?
No.
I recommend it. It has Keanu Reeves in it.
Okay.
A little bit. He's not one of the prominent, but he's in it.
Is Neon Demon is it entirely animated?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just it's a fucking weird ass movie in the best possible weird ass way.
Are you thinking animated movie or a movie that look? Are you thinking Scanner Darkly?
That's what I was thinking of. Exactly
Scanner
what I was thinking
Darkly
of. He said Keanu Reeves and so that's
Keanu.
He said Keanu.
Now Scanner Darkly was Richard Linklater.
Yeah. I actually like that movie a lot.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's weird.
It's Robert Downey Jr.'s in that one.
More importantly,
that guy doesn't write
Keanu.
Berserk, by the way.
No, okay, thank you.
But damn, that looks really good.
My internet friend Brian is always talking about Berserk, and he talks about Ed Brubaker also. That's why I was wondering if it was.
Yeah. Is it him?
No.
Okay.
I think it's Japanese. It's Japanese manga. You manga.
You had it right.
You manga. Manga?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So.
You gotta overpronounce. You gotta let that A breathe some more to piss off people who actually like it.
So what do you think? 3 for 3 now?
Yeah, I like the tone and the style of it for sure. Like Bryce said, we don't know what it's about except for the little synopsis you read, but I like the tone and the look for sure.
Yeah.
I'll watch that dude's work.
I appreciate the trailer toss. I don't know that I want to say you're 3 for 3 yet.
I'm saying you're 3 for 3.
I think it's cool, but I don't know. I don't know what to think yet.
So pressure's on, Tim.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Definitely. I'm a fan.
for days like this when we're light on content.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can I add some content really quick before we jump into this?
Sure.
Don't. Anyways, we talked about on this show a few weeks ago, Hollyweed from Kevin Smith.
Oh.
And I thought I would bring up, it didn't make its target, unfortunately. However, from Kevin Smith, he said, this is from Kevin Smith himself, Hollywood fans, well, we missed the target, but we hit the tree. So I thought that was fucking hilarious. So they didn't reach their intended goal, but because of your passion for the pilot and all the positive feedback for the project, Rivet TV and other partners have decided to produce the next 3 episodes of Hollyweed Season 1 themselves. So I don't know what happens after that, but it's not gone.
Fat nothing. They take that and shop it as a pilot?
Yeah, maybe.
That's what they do?
It's not gone or dead. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's good. Jack Ryan. Fuck, I totally forgot about that. I want to see that too.
My
Want to see
parents
that.
started watching that, I think. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Speaking of Kevin Smith, did you see the pictures of Chris Jericho and his costuming for this Kevin Smith movie he's in?
I saw
I
a
don't know if I've
picture.
seen. I don't think I've seen the costuming.
It's from one of the anthologies he's doing.
He looks
Yeah, I
like a
haven't
fucking
seen it.
hillbilly. It's hilarious.
I need to see that.
Yeah. All right.
I've seen some of the posts he's done with Chris or about Chris. I don't
Yeah.
know if I saw him in costume though. So
Can we skip this trailer and we'll save it for next week?
why?
Just so we can keep the shows not as very long.
It's up to you. How long is the show right now? I mean, this is just gonna add on 2 minutes, and we'll probably it'll probably add on a total of 5 minutes, if that, depending on what we jump into. But I'll leave it
Because
up
we
to
are going to
you.
review this.
Oh, you're reviewing that?
Yeah.
Don't you want him to watch it?
You did see it.
Oh, you guys watched it? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, fine. You didn't tell me to watch it. You just said, "Hey, I'm watching this." Jeez. All right, cool. I'm going to the couch to let you guys do your review. Thanks for the invitation.
This
Bumping off my
First-
trailer.
This is not something you would watch.
You would not like this. This is a Rick
This
movie,
is
as
like
Mike said.
as Rick as it fucking gets, man.
You remember Between the Pines?
Oh, God.
This
Sounds
is
like
Be happy you didn't see it.
all right.
You said you would. Well, so you loved it, though, because you said, well, I'm starting it, and I loved it unless things changed.
Yeah.
But he never at any point, maybe that's why, you never said, you should watch this, too.
I think that's really why I didn't.
Yeah. He tagged me in a post. I was like, yeah, dude, I was gonna bring the trailer for that last week because I saw that trailer, and
Mind the Gap. That's what we're talking
minding
about.
the gap.
Minding
I
the
was
gap.
sold a fucking bill of goods by that trailer, man.
That bad, huh?
It's not bad. It's not what I was expecting.
You guys need drinks before you go off on this?
You posted, Mike, you should watch this. Because
Yeah.
I think you'd probably seen the trailer and then started watching the movie right away, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, actually, no. It was O'Leary who sent me a text telling me that I should watch this.
Oh,
Like, it's
God,
probably
this
his
is an
favorite
O'Leary
documentary
request?
of all time.
Now I really want to hate it.
So I was like,
God.
all right, I'll give it a watch. I was like going to sit down and eat, and I usually watch something while I eat. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll put it on.
So I saw the trailer for this maybe 2 weeks ago, and I haven't been on the show for a couple of weeks just because of timing and shit.
About 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like you said?
So, and this was a trailer I was going to bring to the show for us to watch because the trailer made me think of mid-90s, that Jonah Hill movie trailer we watched.
I didn't give off that vibe in the trailer.
In the trailer. This is not a trailer about coming-of-age kids skateboarding. This is not a documentary about that.
What was this on, by the way?
Hulu Plus.
Gotcha.
So the place that we're house sitting at, they have all their stuff logged in. So I was like, oh, I can actually watch this tonight. So I watched it. But yeah, I was very excited from the trailer because I think after we do this, you need to watch the trailer. When we're done recording, you need to watch the trailer that I saw so you can see that none of the topics they talk about during this documentary are even remotely fucking covered in the trailer.
So it's a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Rick, you went inside unseen? You just started watching
Yes, I did.
O'Leary told him to watch it.
it? Okay, yeah, I heard that. Can I just say I actually like this position when you guys when I'm not a part of it. I just think why should I sit in between you? I like being the Kevin during these moments. I think it's kind of fun. Just saying.
E?
What?
Kind of fun. E?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right.
Anyway.
I'm going to have to get a second camera to put that way.
you need the
switch.
shock mic.
Anyways.
Anyway, so this is a documentary that a guy made, And it's like this group of friends he's had since he was little, and he's always filmed them skateboarding and stuff like that. They all have their problems, but they all seem to stem around physical abuse that happened in their life, whether it was to them or to people in their family or directly involved them. So, and they don't really tell you that out of the gate. It just kind of starts following these people, and like it's almost structured like a movie more so than a documentary. Usually going into a documentary, it's like
I think it rides a line between documentary and a movie because there's different points.
Its style.
Yeah, with the style, but there's different points where like, how are we going to do this? Are we going to talk into the camera? Are we going to pretend you're there or not?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like usually with a documentary, it opens with like the thesis statement of the documentary, and like you kind of know what you're getting going into the documentary.
Right.
I thought I was getting something about, kids, similar to what mid-90s looks like, where it's like kids who are kind of outcasts, but they're friends, and they're all different types of people that are all brought together by skateboarding. It's kind of like what I thought I was getting. But what I get is the director, is somebody who experienced a lot of abuse in his home from his stepfather towards him, his mother, and his half brother, and kind of sees that with his friends. And there are some of his friends that don't even know the extent of the abuse he had growing up. So he's using this as kind of like a therapy session for himself, and maybe to help his friends who he sees have major problems that are stemming from the abuse they've had growing up. And it's a super powerful documentary, and it slowly rolls that stuff out to you almost like it's like a movie telling you a story rather than a documentary where you're, resolution kind of thing. And I really enjoyed the way he tells his story, because honestly, for the first half hour, almost 40 minutes of it, I hated every one of these little fuckers. Every single one of them.
They're like your typical asshole kids.
And they're not even kids anymore. They're all in their 20s. They're all grown up. But I did not like any of them, and none of them had any fucking redeeming qualities at all. But then over the course of the last 2/3 of the documentary, it's kind of like, here's a group of fucking entitled assholes who are crying and whining about everything in their life. And then over the course of the last 2/3, you understand why they are coming across that way. And you can't tell me, like that one dude,
what about entitled?
Why do I have to fucking do what everybody tells me to do? Why can't I just do my own?
On in the movie.
No, that dude starts off that way. He starts off that way.
In the movie?
Yeah, he does. The only kid or the only person in this movie at all that I had any kind of positive feelings for right out of the gate was Kier, because of the situation he's in with his family and his dad and his brothers and and he's just kind of like a normal guy. He seems like a normal dude that just loves skateboarding and hanging out with his friends, and he uses that as a way to kind of forget about his problems. His therapy. Like
you can forget about everything when you're riding a board.
The couple in this movie, both the guy and the girl, all they do for the first half hour is whine and bitch and moan and complain about each other. They
whine a lot, yeah.
Like everybody in this thing except for the one kid. And then but then you slowly start to see their story, and it's it almost feels like like if you're ever in a store, Bryce, and you see like a parent and a child, and the kid is just fucking unruly, and there's always the people in line or in around that go, oh, my kids would never do that. I would never have kids that acted that way. And even before I had kids, I was always I would always you don't know their situation.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about anything when it comes to that person, that kid, or their situation for you to make a comment like that.
Yeah.
That's completely irresponsible.
Yeah.
And you're a fucking dickhead. So I did that though, because with this documentary, because the way it doesn't feel like it feels like a movie. It feels like I'm being told a story, a fictional story. Turns out not fictional at all. No. 100% real reality. And the way they roll it out to you, I was judging these fucking people in the first 25, 30 minutes of the show. And then by the end of it, I was like, I don't necessarily like a couple of these people, but I understand their perspective now. And I really feel like this documentary goes a long way in teaching people empathy and understanding. And it's super downer and super depressing, but I would say give it a watch. I really liked it.
How are, like, you guys kind of touched on it and maybe it went over my head and missed it, but I mean, when they're like telling their stories, are they like showing reenactments of like what's the visual?
No.
Just them sitting there talking.
Yeah.
It was the director being Lau.
Lou, L-I-U.
Yeah. He it's basically his home footage that he's been documenting since they were like in their late teens, early 20s.
There's older stuff, but most of the time it's just like, and it's not like me sitting here and you sitting there talking to a camera. There's some of that, but a lot of it is like their everyday life, fly on the wall stuff.
You know, in the background, you know, like hidden.
Okay.
So like,
Metallica.
Right.
Okay, well, there you go.
And there's like 4 stories to follow in this documentary. Yeah. And one of them is the director who's trying to figure out why his mom, because it's his stepdad that was abusive to him and his mother and his half-brother. And it's him trying to, like, at first, when he starts sitting down and talking with her, it almost feels like malicious. Like, and this is one of the other reasons why I didn't like the personalities of these kids.
Putting her
why
on
did
the spot.
Why did you do this to me? Not really, and that's how he didn't say it in those words, but that's how it came across. And yeah, and it's
it's
really brutal to watch because the mom is like, you, like, come on, it wasn't just you.
Yeah.
But he's trying to understand why. And there's another story with this guy who has this girlfriend and they have a kid together, and he's abusive to her and she's abusive to him, and he sees a lot of what happened in his life happening again with these people, and it almost feels like a roundabout way of having intervention with this one friend of like, so what happens here? Why are you doing this? What's going on? And like the friend that is completely unlikable and not redeemable at all has like a really real moment at the end of this documentary.
Yeah. Was it Zach? The one with the... Yeah, I think it was Zach, who obviously had the alcoholic problem, obviously. But it seemed like at the beginning he tried to be the good dad, but at the same time, like, he kept drinking.
Yeah, and like
the entire time.
The first time...
And...
Yeah, go ahead.
And, like, this couple just, they don't function well together at all.
Not at all.
That storyline, can I say storyline? But that life.
It's a storyline. You know? It's
like, that was really, like, difficult to watch, especially when the kid's involved like that. And then the way we were talking about storytelling and how this was told, like, the way the story was told, you know, you kind of see the timeline from how when the kid was born and how big the kid gets.
Yeah.
So you kind of know how far it's going. But yeah, Keir, is that how you pronounce it?
I believe so.
Like, his story was really good.
Yeah.
Dealing with the stepfather.
Right.
And the abuse that he took. And like,
and his brothers who are fucking criminals.
Yeah. It's like he tried his best to keep his shit together.
Yeah. And he's also struggling with race. He's a black kid who hangs out with a bunch of white people. And there's a few times where you see this group of fucking white kids like talking about how hard it must have been for him, and like he's just kind of sitting there watching as these two people are bickering about the difference between being white and being black, and it's like, yeah, but all white people aren't treated the same. If you're like trailer park trash, you're treated, you know, like a subculture, and like he's just, and it's like a weird thing because you could see his eyes fucking glaze over because he's just like, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. So he's to deal with the whole race aspect as well as his brothers being a gang of criminals and stealing from him and treating his mom like shit and not being at home and their kids being taken care of by his mom. Like it's a really crazy impactful story. And all this kid wants to do is chill out, have enough money to skate, and not have to be doing hard manual labor.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Like he just wants to hang out and
Wants to do what he loves.
and be a regular person. And he's like the only functional person out of this group of
the
kids.
only functional person out of this kids.
And I say kids because they follow him from some of the footage that shows them from like being 11, 12, and 13 to wherever they are now. And they still, all of them still look really young.
Yeah.
But they're obviously late 20s.
It's like they started off probably in like their early 20s, I want to say, maybe even like 18.
Where the documentary
19.
starts,
yeah.
the opening footage, yeah.
And then you see as it progressed, like they're already in like their mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
And when I was going to pull up the IMDb, like there was an article that kind of said that it's almost like Boyhood in a way. The story is told.
Yeah.
Which is true because it did kind of feel like that as well too. But yeah, this movie is really good. It got a lot of praise, and the Indie Festival, it won the special jury prize for breakthrough documentary filmmaking and has won countless best documentary and audience awards in the 2018 festival.
It's one of these. It's a documentary that kind of wins you over as you watch it.
Yeah.
Because when it starts, and
you don't know what you're getting into.
It starts with the vibe that I thought it was going to have.
Yeah.
And then it just very abruptly, it's alcoholism and abuse and spousal abuse and child abuse and just very real stories. And like,
what did you think you were gonna get?
Oh, like mid-90s. What mid-90s looks
exactly
like.
That.
Yeah.
Like a skating life story.
Like the documentary version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bunch of kids who are outcasts coming together and might only even be friends because they skate. Like that's kind of the vibe. I want you to watch the trailer too because
that kind of looked that way too. Like the only reason, at least with some of them, like, they hang out is just to skate.
Yeah, and
especially with Kier.
Yeah, I really felt like I was sold a bill of goods with that trailer, but then afterwards I was like, okay, that's something I would have watched. Yeah, I mean, you are the same way. You love documentaries. You'll watch probably anything, but this is definitely one of those documentaries that will stick with you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For most of the time, when Ryan says, "Oh, this is my best movie of the year," it's so
right. I didn't know that, and I'm glad you didn't tell me that last night because I wouldn't have watched it.
I was kind of like, whatever.
I'm not.
And then.
This is his movie of the year so far?
So far, it seems that way.
The fucking documentary doesn't count.
It does.
I just mean, like, to call it, like, it's fiction versus...
Right.
It's not. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't understand what you mean, but I'm putting it on the list of things I've seen.
That's fine. That's fine.
It was powerful, and it was good. And
I guess
I didn't really pay attention to what he said, and going in that way, too. I mean, obviously, because I watched that part, or watched it. But, it definitely was a gut punch.
And the thing that's kind of weird is, like, I can't necessarily relate to anybody in the documentary. I guess there's some aspects that I can kind of pull into, like, okay, here and there.
Yeah.
But I will say that when I was living in Colorado, when I was, like, in 4th and 5th grade, I knew people exactly like this. Like, I knew these exact fucking people when I was living in Colorado. I was like 10 or 11 years old, and I knew, high school kids and college kids that were these people. That's the thing that kind of really threw me off last night. And that was kind of the gut punch for me. I was like, well, that reminds me of that guy, and that reminds me of that guy. And then I think, well, I wonder what those people are fucking up to now. Like, what's going on? It hit me in a way I did not expect it to whatsoever.
Yeah. Should we call it?
I guess so. I mean, yeah. You want to It's not like I'm like, holy fuck, we have to watch that trailer. I just put that in there in case we were light on content. That's fine. I don't know that we'll even watch it next week, but we'll see.
All right. So that's it for this week. Bryce, take us home.
All right, so that was your episode of Some Shit We Like this week. If you joined us live in the chat, we appreciate you, including the person that wanted to know if my balls have dropped.
Well, maybe you just wanted to see your balls. You didn't. You should have Greg Millard and done it.
Yeah, I should have done it.
Just what would Greggy do? That's the way I live my life now. What would Greggy do?
Cheesy, Bolo, the
Evil Saxon.
Russian, yeah, that guy. Thank you for, or girl, sorry, whatever you are. Thank you for joining us and watching us live in chat. If you are listening to us, we appreciate you and appreciate that on whatever podcast service you're doing that on. And if you have caught any of the clips or watching this full show on YouTube, we appreciate that as well. Once again, as a reminder, the audio of the show goes up on Tuesdays in the morning, and clips go up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 on Thursday, and we put up the whole show on a Friday if you just want to watch and don't want to listen. And boys, with that said,
until next time,
that was some shit we like.